Yo, what's up? Once again, it's your boy Danny. This is Danny's Dimensions, another episode. Saturdays with Coach Rob, CEO of MOW Boxing, Man of War.
What's
What's
up,
going
fam?
on, Rob?
Good, man. Chilling.
Man, I'm excited
Enjoying.
about what we're gonna talk about because this is like right up our alley right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is.
The defenders of boxing. But first of all, before we get into that, we're gonna talk about subscribing to the Instagram. Subscribe to my Instagram, D underscore visions underscore LLC.
Yes,
Support your
sir.
local businesses. Also,
Got you.
subscribe to my boy Rob. Tell him about your Facebook.
Yeah, man. Subscribe to the Facebook at MOW Boxing. One of the things that we're doing, man, is we obviously we have the training school, we have the academy. So come check us out. All of the information is there on the actual website there on the business page. But we also have merch for sale. I'm wearing one of my shirts today. I figured we celebrate Valentine's Day, so I put my pink shirt on, right? So it's all about being monogamous. Get you one woman, guys. Get you one woman, right? So, so do it right. Do it right. Now, we have a whole lot of things that we promote, man, and so we just want to promote monogamy. I'm married and happily married, so find you one, love that one, man, and enjoy Valentine's Day as it comes up. But if you want to get this pink shirt, just DM me. They are for sale.
Yes, sir. Also, Facebook.com, Danny's Dimensions Podcast. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. So, yeah, support your local business, man. Support your people out here, man. And we're going to get right into it, man. Our first fighter that we're going to get into is Nicholino Loche from
Yeah,
Argentina. As you look
yeah.
at that record, man, 117-4, 14 draws, 14 knockouts. What a remarkable record. Four
Clearly,
losses. Out of all
clearly he
those
had
fights,
good
he only had
defense.
four losses.
Clearly he had good defense.
Yeah, I think the one thing about him that people don't understand or know, the reason why they don't have a lot of footage on him is number one, most of his fights was in Buenos Aires in Argentina.
Hmm.
A lot of those, and I feel like had he been in America, he probably would have been known a little bit more to the public.
Yeah.
But he still ended up being a Hall of Famer 2 years before he died in 2003. He
Hmm.
probably would have been a Hall of Famer earlier had he, like I said, been in America. So having being in Argentina, most of his fights in Argentina, he beat some great fighters like Antonio Cervantes.
Hmm.
He beat some great fighters. He was the 140-pound champion from 1968 to 1972. He had six title defenses during that
Hmm.
time span. And he was just a masterful defensive boxer who could stand right in front of you and not get hit. Literally, not get hit. Here's a
Hmm.
fight right here from 1972 with him and Antonio Cervantes. So tell me what you think about Loche.
I think Loche is a man. Loche is a he's a pioneer when it comes to defense, man. Like one of the things we see, and him and another one is George Benson. Both of those guys, man, like very very similar styles as far as the Philly shell, the shoulder roll, those kind of things. These guys are pioneers, and the style that we see today when we get further to some of the more modern guys. But no, Nicolino, Nicolino, he used a lot of feints, which is always good, and that's one of the things that people don't realize is so important.
Look at that.
Feint sets you up, man. Like it lets you see all the openings if you're paying attention to what your opponent does when you feint. When you feint, what
Hmm.
that does is it shows you exactly what their habits are. Once you learn their habits, then you can be able to pick those habits apart, right?
Right.
But, so a lot of coaches don't teach that way, and a lot of fighters don't understand how important that stuff is. But feints are very important. As you can see,
Absolutely.
he's always at an angle too. As we watch him, he's always at an angle. He's never standing square. Even just making, even what he just did, just by making Cervantes fall, right? Like that takes a lot of energy
Yeah, it does.
out of the fighter. So just making a fighter miss that much
Ooh,
can
good
also
shot.
makes him tired. I know the shots that I throw that I miss. I feel those a lot more than the ones I connect when
Sure
I'm
do.
up.
Look
So
at this.
yeah, right there in
Wow.
pocket.
That's great right there, man.
Just good
There's an
timing.
example of him. Man,
It's just good timing.
that's crazy.
Good timing. You guys want to get good at stuff like that. You need to be on the slip line, be on the bag, on the double end bag, things like that. Moving that head, getting that head off the line. That's how you get good at things like that.
Exactly. This is 1973. And he could stay right at there. He would stay right there in the pocket, right there, as you can see right
Mm-hmm.
there, and then not get hit. And it's so frustrating when you have a guy that's right in front of you.
Mm.
Then he's countering you with shots like that.
I know.
And he's just
Mm.
I think another defensive fighter that we talk about, don't really talk about too much, from Argentina, Sergio Martinez. I think
Oh
he was
yeah,
inspired by
yeah.
Michelito.
Him and
Definitely inspired by him.
what's his Benitez? Wilfred Benitez was another one that we probably should have talked about today. We didn't think about. He's from
Oh
Puerto
man,
Rico.
he's another one.
Yeah, we should have talked about him, but I didn't think about him until now. But yeah, no, he's another one. Maybe we'll save him for a later episode.
Definitely.
He deserves
Nah,
his own.
he was definitely great. So Michelino, like I said, from 60 to 70, 68 to 72, he was a champion, defended his title 6 times. Very remarkable record. Very good fighter. Um, I mean, he could do a lot of things in the ring in terms of defense.
Yeah,
Like you said, he was a pioneer.
definitely a pioneer of the defensive styles that we see today. Even all the way down to the styles we see even from Muhammad Ali and people like that. Like you saw the little head movement thing he was doing where he just
Yeah, the
stand right in
side to
front of
side movement and just
taunting
standing
and
there.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's things
it's
we see
crazy.
from Sugar Ray Robinson all the way down to Muhammad Ali, all the way down to Nicolino and people like that. So these guys
Right,
are these guys really set the pace for the boxers that we see today. So we always have to pay homage to them.
for sure.
Always.
And I think they will be great in even today's era. At
Oh yeah.
that particular time, 1968, they were just getting and that's another reason probably why he didn't get the recognition that he deserved, because they had just got junior weight classes in
Right.
boxing in the
Right.
late 60s.
Right.
They were starting the junior weight classes, and they was also starting the organizations like the WBA was
Mm-hmm.
founded. That was the first organization that was founded in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the WBC, the IBF. So that's Nicolino Loche. Great
Look him up. Look him
Argentina.
up, guys. Look him up.
Look him up, man.
Yeah, we
And
don't have
I learned a lot about him.
yeah, we don't have a lot of time to talk about him in full, but definitely somebody worth looking up if you're interested in that kind of stuff for sure.
For sure. Next one is one of my favorites and one of your
Oh,
favorites.
yeah.
Connecticut's own Willie, the Will of the Wisp, Willie
Yeah.
Pep. 22 and 229 victories, 11 losses, 11 draws, and 65 knockouts. Talk to us about Willie.
The coach said you can't even throw a handful of rice and hit him in the butt because he moves so well. He has some of the most educated feet in boxing. Was not your kind of defensive fighter that moves the whole time and never responds with punches. He was also offensive too.
Very
So,
much
like,
so.
really, honestly, as far as defense goes, man, like he's probably one of my favorites. 229 fights. These guys were fighting, bro. These guys were fighting like 3 and 4 times a week. We have guys, boxers now that won't fight twice a year.
Right.
His first fight, he made $4. His first
That's
professional
crazy,
fight, he
right?
made $4 because he had to split the other half. So he made $8 actually, but he had to split the half of it with his with his promotion team. So this man made $4, and this is all they did. So just watch him, man. He's poetry, and the way he moves, the simple subtle moves he does,
As you can see there.
simple subtle moves, stay right there in the pocket with you, back and forth,
Right.
always on the toes.
Yeah, love that. Love
Always
that.
on the
Look at that.
toes.
Oh, that's a good counter, right? Willie Pep, if you guys don't know, he's the guy in the white trunks.
Yes,
He's fighting Chavez in the black trunks to the left of your screen.
actually, so yeah, he was a world featherweight champion 2 times.
Yep.
He went on a 73-0 win streak
Yep.
before losing his first fight.
Mm-hmm. Wow, did you see that rapid jab? He like threw like 5 jabs.
Yeah,
So quick.
yeah, just the
Like
up and down.
he epitomizing making you miss and making you pay.
He's
That
the
was the
only fighter
epitome.
I know of. He's the only fighter I know that said, "I'm going to go out here in the third round." I think of who was the fight against Jackie Graves in 1946. He said, "I'm going to go out here in the third round and not throw one punch and win the round," and he did. He was throwing
Oh
feints.
yes,
He
yes.
was
The only
throwing
person
feints.
in history,
Yeah,
the
that I
only
know.
boxer in history that did that.
Yeah, he went out there
Literally.
and said, "I'm not going to throw one punch. I'm not going to throw one punch. I'm just going to go out there and feint." And that's what he did. Feinted, moved his
Beautiful.
head, got around, and won the entire round. So, and ultimately won the fight. But
Yeah, he made defense beautiful. He
yeah,
made defense very beautiful. You know, a
yeah,
lot of people don't understand the sweet science. Look at that, like as you just saw the a little side step that he did to the right after he threw the right
yep,
hand, setting himself. Like most people, a lot of people are defensive and they're just defensive, but he's
yeah.
setting his defense and looking for his offense at the same time. So
That's how
that's
you're
why I
supposed to
say
do it.
he maximizes the making you miss, making you pay
Making you
type
pay.
thing.
And you
That's what
see,
he did.
even I mean, back then, guys weren't as schooled as they are now. I don't
Mm,
think in the sport, right? But I
not
think
at
they,
all.
just in a sense of technical understanding, right? But as you can watch, just he's doing things that make sense, keeping that right hand nice and postured right underneath the chin, so he's catching most of the jabs that are coming towards him.
That's
He
right.
doesn't have a right hand like this; he has a right hand like this. So that way, if his body's at that angle, that way when you throw your punch, you throw your jab, I'm gonna catch it with my glove, catch it with my
Right.
glove, clutch it with my glove, and keep my chin down behind it. That's what you see him doing a lot of. The footwork, he's moving, he's pivoting out the right way. The L steps and stuff are making sense. So he's, like I said, if you really sit and you really study this, man, this dude is he was a beast. He really was a beast, and like I said, I'm a huge fan, a huge fan.
Yeah. So, like you said, he was featherweight champion from 1942 to 1950. He won it. He was a two-time champion.
2 time, yep.
Um, the only guy he lost to during that time span was who we talked about before we got on the broadcast,
Good old Sandy. Good old
Sandy
Sandy.
Sadler.
But we have to also factor in the fact that when he did lose to Sandy, and of course I don't make any excuses for losses, but when he did lose to Sandy, this is after he was involved in a plane crash. So his
Yep.
doctor actually told him that he should never fight again. He was back in the ring 5 months after
Exactly.
that.
That's remarkable.
He shouldn't have been fighting anymore.
At all.
So
That's
and he
remarkable, man.
yeah, yeah. So he's a yeah, Pep. They're actually making a movie about him. It's actually shooting right now in Hartford. So hopefully that comes out soon.
Yeah, I heard about that. There's a movie.
Yeah.
Yep, movie about the Will of the Wisp,
Yep. Yep.
Willie
It-
Pep
It's just going to be
from
called
Hartford,
Pep.
Connecticut.
Yeah, it's just going to be called Pep. PEP.
Yeah. So, like I said, he was champ from 1942 to 50, and he made the Hall of Fame in 1990. And he died in 2006. Was it
2008.
2006? 8? 2008.
2008. Yeah.
Died in 2008 of pugilistica dementia.
At the
So,
age of 84.
one of the things I don't understand, yeah, he was very old at that time. But one of the things I don't understand is why these fighters don't have
Mm.
pension plans. After boxing. They take all these punches, which he really didn't take a lot of punches. It's crazy how
Mhm.
a defensive fighter, as studious as him,
Mhm.
was end up having dementia.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's still
um,
boxing. 230 fights under your
yeah,
belt.
that is a lot of fights, though.
Yeah.
That
Plus
is
an
a lot of
amateur.
fights,
Yeah.
regardless.
Plus his
Yeah, that
amateur career where he actually faced.
exactly. I
He
mean,
actually
if you
faced
look at
Sugar
this
Ray.
record, man, that looks like an
Yeah.
amateur record.
It does. It
You
does.
know what I'm saying? Like they
Yeah.
don't they don't make boxes like that anymore.
Nah. Like I was
No,
saying earlier, man, these guys were fighting. They were fighting 3 and 4 times a week. You know what I
exactly.
mean? We got boxers now complaining about being in training camp. I don't understand it, but it's about training camp, 8 weeks. You fight twice a year, and some boxers complain about that. And I'm like,
Right.
is this really what you want to do? Because if you can't go 2 training camps in a year, you know what I mean, then I don't really know if this is for you. But
Right. It's not for you, to be
yeah,
honest with you. It's not.
right, straight up.
Because those dudes like back then, they were built differently, man.
Yeah, they were.
They were built way different.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you think about how the fighters are prima donnas today, and they just The way that their inactivity,
Yeah, the inactivity is
the
bad, and
inactivity
we
is
saw
killing.
that what last week, man. Like, although there's a lot of speculation on Gary Russell, right? Like he was hurt, etc.
Right,
But I do feel like, yeah, you being hurt, I understand that, but man, you haven't fought in like how long? Has it been? Like 2 years, 3 years,
right.
and it's like, of course, you would have the longest reign with your belt if you weren't fighting. I mean, you know what I mean? So the first real step up that he had, he lost. And I mean, both of the stuff. Now, this isn't coming against Gary, but I'm just saying the inactivity is something that that we got to change in boxing, man, because cats aren't fighting enough, and it's starting to make the sport stale, and people are starting to go over UFC and want to watch that kind of stuff. Because I mean, shoot, if we had Dana White promoting boxing matches, man, we would have seen Spence Crawford 2 years ago.
Probably would have. Probably would have. But you got the corrupt things about
Yeah,
Al Heyman. We're gonna talk about Al Heyman in a minute as it pertains to another defensive boxer. But
yeah.
first, we're
Uh,
gonna get to one of my favorites.
Here we go.
Another one of my
There it
favorites,
goes.
Purnell,
Yeah.
Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Shout out to
Rest in
Newport
peace,
News.
Purnell.
Shout out Bad News.
Shout out to Norfolk, Virginia. I lived there a couple of years or so. So shout out to Norfolk, Virginia. Also shout out to Connecticut, of course, previous with Willie Pep. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's my original hometown. But yeah, Purnell, Sweet Pea Whitaker. What you got to say
Yeah.
about him? Like this dude, man.
Man,
You talk
Sweet
about
Pea.
making you miss. We talked about Loche.
Sweet
Whitaker
Pea.
did some of the same things. Stand in
Only,
front of you, make you miss,
yeah,
showboat, hit you behind
man.
the back, behind
Yeah,
the back
Sweet
punch.
Pea is exciting, man. Like he's very exciting. And I mean, just some of the names on his record. I mean, Buddy McGirt. He fought Buddy
Yep.
McGirt twice. He fought
Beat him
Roger
twice.
Mayweather. Beat Buddy twice. Fought Roger Mayweather.
The Black
Uh,
Mamba, Roger
right.
Mayweather.
Fought and beat Roger. Lost to Oscar De La Hoya. Had a draw with Julio Cesar Chavez, which I wish they
Right.
would have fought again. They never fought again. But
That was a bad decision.
there's a terrible decision.
Bad
Technically,
decision.
I think honestly, if it was up to me, I would just change that in the record books. Yeah, Sweet Pea won that
Absolutely.
one. But yeah, Sweet Pea, man, gold medal at the '84 Olympics.
hmm
Gold at the '80.
One of the best Olympic team with
Absolutely.
Mark Breland, Evander
Mark.
Holyfield,
Yep.
Meldrick
Yep.
Taylor,
Yep. Yep.
Tyrell Biggs. That was a
Tyrell
great
Biggs. Yep.
Olympic team.
Unfortunately, people only remember Tyrell Biggs now because he get knocked out by Mike Tyson. But that's all right. That's all right. It's,
I mean,
it's all right. That's all right. It was Mike
I
Tyson.
guess that's all right.
It's all right.
Oh man,
It's all
he
right.
did get stretched out. I mean, Tyrell Biggs was supposed to be like a Muhammad Ali type character.
Yeah, and he was to an extent.
To an extent until he
Yeah.
met Tyson, I guess.
Yeah,
But
but he was his
Sweet Pea, man.
gold at the '83 Pan Am Games lightweight. 214 fights that he won, 91 by KO
Yeah,
as an amateur, and now of course he's 44-17
as a pro,
as
and
a
most of those
pro.
4 losses are towards the tail end of his career.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of them, 2 of them were. I think he fought. It was in 1988 when he first fought for the title. He was robbed.
He fought Herrera. Was it Herrera? I think that was his name.
Yeah,
Was that his
19,
name?
I think either or was it Ramirez? I forget.
I
I
can't
forget the
remember.
name of the dude.
I can't remember.
But he fought him, and that was on ABC. He fought him, and he lost the fight. Well, everybody thought he won the fight. Then he came
Mm-hmm.
back in 1989 and won the fight.
Mm-hmm.
He was a champion in 4 weight classes.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Lightweight,
saying?
light welterweight,
Yep.
and light middleweight.
Yep.
Yep.
And this is right here is this fight right here particularly is the one that he moved up to 140 light welterweight to fight
Mm-hmm.
the champion Rafael Pineda, who came off a knockout win against the Black Mamba Roger Mayweather in a fight
Mm-hmm.
that he was losing
Yeah.
on HBO. So this was Sweet Pea's first fight at 140, stepping up and fighting Pineda. Here's another thing about Sweet Pea we don't understand. Like a lot of people don't understand. Like there'd be at times that Sweet Pea would go in and try to put pressure on people, as you see right here.
Yeah.
Like he's actually aggressive to an
Oh, he
extent,
had
but also
knockouts.
always defensive responsive.
Yeah, he had more knockouts as an amateur, but I mean, he had knockouts. I mean, 17 knockouts in 40 fights isn't a lot at all.
No,
But but he had knockouts, more amateur knockouts. I think he kind of adapted more to that defensive style. He was always defensive, but I think he adapted
Always.
to it. He adapted more to it when he became pro.
Yep.
And so that's kind of what made him who we know him to be today. But yeah, I think Sweet Pea unfortunately passed in, what was it, 2019? Was it 2019?
2019.
Yeah,
Died in a
he just got
he
hit
was
by a
hit by
car
a
or
car
something.
while walking across the street in Norfolk, Virginia, and he well, or was it Virginia? I think it was Virginia Beach.
Yeah, it was
He
Virginia Beach.
died in 2019. But Sweet Pea, a great fighter. Like he when people notice things about Sweet Pea, when one of the things they notice is the fact that he looks so relaxed in there, like he's
Yep,
fighting from an armchair.
yep.
Like he's so relaxed, like his movements, even his subtle movements, are very relaxed. You know, very calculated fighter. And as you can see right there, Pineda's having a hard time trying to hit him. And another fight, and one of the most frustrating things about a boxer is when you're standing right in front of him and you can't hit him. As you can
Yeah.
see, like he tried to throw the uppercut. I mean, he knows how to just weave. His weave game was crazy.
See, the thing is like what you just mentioned, and what is so important for boxers that are coming up to know is your composure matters more than anything else in there. So
Absolutely.
as you can see, even in this fight, Purnell is very composed, very, very composed. Like you said, it's just like he's sitting down, like he's relaxed. That's how you have to be. You can't be shaky and jittery and jumpy and all that kind of stuff in there, because that's just gonna throw your whole game off, and you're wasting energy. You feel what I'm saying? Like if you're
Unnecessary
all
energy.
jittery and jumpy and, so, and it's too much movement, it's too much. You're wasting energy. Sit down in the pocket, be comfortable. You know what I mean? Remember what you trained for. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Catch.
Unnecessary energy, man.
You know what I mean? Just
Unnecessary energy.
yeah, to catch him here. I mean, to answer the phone. To catch him here. To parry here. Just
Right.
things that you already know to do. To drop the elbow, to catch him at the body, drop the elbow. Just things you already know to do. Just focus on those things and pay attention to your opponent, as
Right.
opposed to trying to move too much, because moving too much, there's a time for movement, right? Like you always have to move, you always have to be on your toes, but then there's
Right.
a time when you have to be able to settle down and fight within the pocket. And being able to fight within the pocket is what Sweet Pea did very well. Just being able to be there, be right there, like you said, right there in front of you, and split your defense, get his head off to the side, get his head off the line, go to your body,
Yeah.
take you,
Stay off the
spin
center
you.
line.
Yeah,
Stay
head
off the
off the
center
center
line.
line, take you, spin you around, do certain things you would see him do. You always One of the things here that is very important for orthodox fighters fighting southpaw fighters, because Sweet Pea was a southpaw.
Yeah, that's another
You
thing.
always need to make sure orthodox fighters, because there's more orthodox fighters than there is um,
The right
southpaws
foot
most of the time, right? So orthodox fighters, you cannot let him get his foot on the
on the
outside of
outside.
your
Yep.
right over your
Yep.
left foot.
That's what I was gonna get to.
You
The
cannot let
outside
him do
when you.
that. You
Yep.
just hey, can you run that back? What he just did. This is why.
So
Can you run that back? What
yeah, let
Sweet Pea
me run
just
that
did.
back. So what Sweet Pea just did right here. I don't know if I have it right here.
Watch their
Yep.
feet. Watch where their feet are. And guys,
So
feet is
his
so
foot is on the
important in
outside.
business.
Yep.
Watch what he just did. Okay, Sweet Pea's foot is on the outside. What that automatically does is turns him away from his power hand.
As you can see, it's on the
Sweet Pea's on
outside.
the
It's on the
outside
outside.
now.
Yep.
He's away from his power hand, meaning that now I have really not too much to worry about. Sweet Pea's
Yep.
always circling. He's always circling to his
Ooh.
right.
And when he threw
Always
that
circling
straight
to his right.
left, his foot was really on the outside. When he threw that straight left to the body, his
Yeah.
foot was really on the outside. So therefore, you're able to control your opponent when your foot is on the outside of
Right.
his. You can control him. He can go where you want him to go. And then when he tries to hit you, you're not there for the receipt, as they say.
Right.
Don't
Because
wait for the
the
receipt.
southpaw killer is a straight right, and you want
Exactly.
to be away from the straight right. So he's always
Yes.
circling to his right. Never circle
So
to your left
right.
when you're fighting an orthodox fighter. There's really no reason for you to be there.
Yeah. And he needs to be in that center line for you to land that straight left. And if
Exactly.
he's not there, then you don't have a chance in
I wanted to
prayer.
show them. I wanted to show that part where he just turned him, because I wanted to see how that there we go. He just did it again. Well, then went off.
So he did.
But
Yeah. Let me go. We can go back to that part again. I'm trying to figure out, was it round one?
yeah, it
But
was
he
a
did
round one.
turn him.
He
And
turned him all the way around.
when you're able to turn somebody, you can make a big impact.
You can do
Like
whatever you want to do because
you
there's
do
so many
whatever you want
openings
to
at
do
that
to them.
point. You can check right or left hook or well not. We're fighting southpaw. You can check them with like a left uppercut or a left or like a left back hook or something like that when you switch off like that. But
Right. So
there's a
when you're
lot
able
of
to,
stuff you can do here. Right here. That's what I want.
yeah, I know what you're talking
Was
about.
that
Yep.
no? There was actually another time he did it, but that
Yeah,
was
but
similar to
he's
what
been
I'm
doing that
talking
the
about.
whole fight though.
No, there was one time he was all the way behind him, and that's
Oh
what
yeah,
you
yeah,
want.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But
that's
that
like
was
that Lomachenko stuff.
yeah, definitely to be able to
I think
turn
it's actually right
somebody
here. But watch his feet though. Watch his every single time where Sweet Pea's feet are. And
on the
apparently,
outside.
who's the guy he's fighting here? I forget his name.
Rafael Pineda.
Raphael. Apparently,
He's a
Pineda's.
Colombian swinger, so he's not really a technically sound fighter. And
Yeah,
Purnell knew that he wasn't technically sound.
yeah.
All he was
Apparently,
looking for was power. So
yeah,
that played right into Purnell's hands. So
yeah,
this was in 1992. Purnell's first fight at 140, and he looks like he's belongs at the weight class in his first fight.
yeah.
He looks
And
like
see,
he belongs
look
there.
at Pineda,
Oh,
look at Pineda's
great!
feet. Look at Pineda's feet. Watch his feet. His feet are
Very slow and
always in the wrong
deliberate.
place. They're
Very
always
slow
in the
and
wrong
deliberate.
place.
Yeah,
He needs
always
to
in the
be
wrong
on
place.
the. But Sweet Pea's feet are so sweet. But his feet, he stays on his toes. But Pineda's feet were in the wrong place the entire time. That's why he kept getting caught. He never got his foot on the outside of Sweet Pea's
The
foot.
whole fight.
At least in this round, I don't even know if I've been seeing this whole fight, but in that round,
Yeah, the whole fight went like this, literally. And I think he got dropped in the sixth or seventh or something like that. But yep, it was like that.
yeah,
And Sweet Pea also, I mean, he had great trainers. Georgie Benham,
yeah,
another
yeah.
defensive
Oh yeah.
genius.
Well, I
Uh
brought him up
huh.
earlier. Yeah, when we were talking
Uh
about
huh.
Nicolino. Yeah.
When he fought Ruben Hurricane Carter, he made
Yep.
Hurricane Carter miss a lot of shots.
Yep. Yep.
So power punchers really play into the hands of boxers.
Yeah, they
You know,
do.
you got a pressure fighter, you got the pure boxers, you got the boxer punchers.
Yeah.
And this is why he's only able to land 33% to Whitaker's
Sheesh.
40%.
Sheesh. Yeah.
And Whitaker is throwing more punches. So defense discourages you. It really
It
discourages you.
does.
It makes you not want to get hit. And we'll talk about that with the next fighter that we have next.
Mm-hmm.
But Sweet Pea, one of the greatest, Hall of Fame fighter,
Yep.
pretty good trainer. He also trained Zab Judah.
He did.
He was in the gym with Floyd Mayweather when Floyd came
Yep.
into the gym at a young age, and you know, great fighter, Sweet
Yep.
Pea, one of the best, man, one of
Yeah.
the best. Rest in peace, big ups to
Yeah,
Sweet
man.
Pea.
Definitely. Sweet Pea. Defense, guys. If you're interested in learning defense, man,
Watch
yeah,
Sweet Pea,
watch
Sweet
Sweet
Pea,
Pea.
watch Willie Pep, watch
All these
the
guys.
next man that I'm about to talk about.
Yeah, definitely watch this next guy too. If you want to learn
Pretty
real
boy
deep.
Floyd,
Here we go.
Floyd,
You
money,
can't. It's almost impossible
Mayweather.
to talk defense and not talk about Floyd a little bit,
You
right?
can't.
You
You
can't
can't
really
talk
bring
about
it.
defense about Floyd.
Yeah, he has to be on
So
the list somewhere.
yeah, yeah, he was just great. Before we
Yeah.
get into Floyd, did you hear about the accusations of Floyd and Al Heyman?
No, what happened?
So they're being sued
Sounds about right.
for the Jake Paul fight.
Oh yeah, because it was a Logan Paul because he said he didn't pay him.
Yeah, Logan Paul, I should say.
Yeah, I did
Logan
hear
Paul.
about that. I did
Logan
hear
Paul
about
said
that.
you didn't give me my money.
Well, there go Floyd still being
So
defensive.
yeah, yeah. He's very defensive when it comes down to money. To that money.
Yeah. That's terrible. I hope that's not true.
Well, I hope so too. But that's crazy.
Yeah.
Al Heyman.
Yeah, no, he's the Al Hammond is the real life ghost. James St. Patrick.
He seems like it.
Yeah, he in the background. Like we all thought Ghost was dead. Nah, it was James. It was Al Hammond.
It's Al
He's still
Heyman.
alive.
Al Heyman is ghost, man. He's like a combination of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and other people's eyes too.
Right.
And Ghost.
I sincerely hope that's not true.
Man, I hope not either, man. I really do. But I don't expect nothing, you know.
Yeah.
I don't put nothing past Al Heyman. I mean, he's really put a lot of fighters on the shelf.
Yeah.
The PBC and different things like that. Like, this is the reason why all these other fights haven't happened. This is the reason why Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder didn't happen.
Yeah,
Lies, allegations saying that they put 100 something million in, and try to give him, and they never went to escrow.
yeah.
There's $100 million via email. Send it to him via email, saying something like,
Yeah,
"Man,
bro. Snapchat me 100 mil right
yeah,
quick.
Snapchat me 100 mil right now." Whereas, Eddie Hearn actually gave them an actual deal, which would have been the
Paperwork.
best deal of their career, but they didn't accept it. But
Yeah,
anyway, on the
yeah,
Floyd Mayweather, this is one of Floyd's greatest fights right here against Diego Chico Corrales.
yeah,
Diego Corrales, rest in peace, a warrior. We talked about Corrales Castillo.
yeah,
At this
yeah,
point, both men were undefeated. Corrales
yeah,
had just knocked out Roberto Garcia
yep,
for the IBF light junior lightweight championship. So
yep,
this was 2001. This was a projected as a super fight.
yep.
Floyd Mayweather is, and this is a younger Floyd. So Floyd is the defender of all defenders, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
this was still Pretty Boy, so
He was a little bit more
he
offensive.
was more offensive here, but that's also because he was training with Roger. And if you know anything about
Yeah,
both
that's right.
trainers, yeah, if you know anything about both trainers, you know that his dad was actually in prison at this time, and
Yep,
well, he might have just gotten out, I think,
he
but
just got out. Yep,
yeah, but either way, his dad was very, very defensive in his approach, and his uncle was very, very offensive in his approach. So Floyd had like the blend of the best of both worlds in that aspect because you had somebody in there teaching you offense and somebody teaching you defense, and it created what we know now to be, Floyd Mayweather.
mm-hmm.
Like I said, you really cannot talk defense without talking Floyd at all.
At all.
Yeah, so we would be doing everybody a disservice if we didn't talk about Floyd a little bit here.
And
But
yeah, the crazy thing about it is, I mean, look at what he's doing in this fight. This
yeah,
is a taller man
yeah,
who's supposed to have the reach and the height on him, and he's just outboxing him
yeah,
with a lightning fast jab.
guys,
His footwork is impeccable. Every
that's
time
exactly what I
Diego
say.
tries to set up, he can't set up
Yeah,
and when he does get in front of him, he can't land anything. Most of those shots did not land. But yeah, what would you
yeah.
say?
No, I was actually just gonna bounce off of what you just said about the footwork.
Ooh,
Defense, the first set of defense is your footwork.
right,
Like if you don't have good footwork, or if you don't know how to move in there, how to pivot, or when to pivot, or where your feet need to be placed, then your defense is going to struggle anyway. So that's why footwork is the first thing you want to learn when starting out boxing.
right.
You shouldn't be throwing punches for weeks, honestly. You should be learning how you should be moving, how you should be doing, not crossing your feet, because your feet are really going to set up all of your defense and set you up really, really, really nicely for the rest of everything else to just come together and paint the whole picture.
Right,
When you know that when you know where your feet are supposed to be, it just gives you that comfortability and that composure that we talked about. One of the best things Floyd has is composure. You could tell that
absolutely.
you could
Another
tell he
guy
was
like,
always comfortable.
yeah,
He always knew where he was going. He was always aware of what he wanted to do. He was always
shoulder
watching
roll.
and paying attention. Then Floyd really does have really good timing, and he also does have really good reflexes. So,
Yeah,
I mean, some of that stuff can't be taught, but it's like, I think anybody can really learn this though if you just,
I think
spend time in the gym.
it's a matter of just not just the timing, like you said, and the reflexes. Like that's what allowed him to have the longevity that he had in his career and be able to fight to the age of 38, 39, and
And
still be
probably
competitive
this
and
year.
still be great. Yeah, he's probably still going to be fighting now, but what I'm talking about is actual good, like
Yeah,
solid opposition. You
yeah,
know what I
he's not fighting
mean?
nobody real. Yeah,
He
he's
ain't
not
fighting
fighting nobody
nobody like when Conor McGregor. After the Conor McGregor thing, I was like,
real. Yeah, it's downhill after that. Yeah.
yeah, it really doesn't mean anything to me. Like he's just fighting for whatever, just for money or
Mhm.
whatever the case may be. But
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather, when he fought the guys like the Diego Chico Corrales, the Gennaro Hernandez,
Mhm.
that's when I first saw Floyd fight as a professional. I was like, who is this kid? This kid's
Yeah.
super skilled. He's super talented, and he
Yeah.
just beat Hernandez up. Like he really
And
was.
Hernandez was one of his favorite fighters, so that's pretty awesome. Like he told a story one time about having a poster of Gennaro Hernandez in his room when he was a
Wow.
kid, And then so he grows up, goes to the amateurs, goes to the Olympics, gets the bronze, comes into the pros, and fights and beats Hernandez. So it's a pretty cool story. It's a pretty cool story. The thing about Floyd, man, and like I said, you always have to pay homage to, just he's always seeming like he's 10, maybe 9
Look
to
at
10
these.
steps ahead of his opponent. He
Look at
always
these.
just seemed
Oh
like he
my
was
God.
always
Look at
on it.
that
Like he
defense.
just, yeah, like he just knew what you were gonna do. You can tell he spent so much time in the gym with different types of sparring partners.
Yeah, for
You can just
sure.
tell. I mean,
Yeah, he
I
did.
can,
He spent a lot of time like
I
with the
could,
Sweet Peas of the world, the
yeah,
Frankie Randall. Rest in peace, Frankie Randall.
yeah.
He spent time with him,
That's one of the
you know,
best check left hooks I've ever seen in
and the
boxing.
best pull counter.
Yeah,
The
he's known
best
for that.
pull, one of the best pull counters, like
Yeah, he's known for
the
that.
right off the jab. He had a lightning, like you said, very lightning left hook.
Hmm.
Very good combinations. When he chose to throw his combinations, I mean, he did everything right. I don't think he
Yeah,
really had a weakness, and he also, when he got hit, he had a pretty good chin.
he does. Yeah, he does. The
I
only
don't
thing,
think,
only thing I would say, and I wouldn't even really call it a weakness. I would say is because his hands were hurt, but if he could have had more power, that would have helped him. But I mean, in the lower divisions when he first
yeah,
came in, I mean, we got to realize the
he
Floyd
had
that we've known for the past from like 2011 till now, that was a
yep,
completely different Floyd than the
yep,
Floyd before then. The
yep,
Floyd before then was knocking cats out. Floyd was
yeah,
12-0 with 12 knockouts when he first started.
yeah,
when he
yeah.
first came into when he
When he
first
fought
started,
Angel Manfredi, he was 18-0 with 15 knockouts.
yeah, yeah.
He knocked out
So
Gennaro Hernandez. He knocked out Angel Manfredi. He knocked out Diego Corrales.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep. He was a knockout puncher. So I just think over the years, his hands got hurt, so he had to kind of modify his style after the Sean Bay Mitchell fight. I think that was where his hand got hurt, or when he first
Yeah.
started complaining about it.
I think it was Carlos Famoso Hernandez when he hurt his hand because
Oh, was it that
he
one?
threw a shot and he touched his glove, touched the canvas. That was the only knockdown of his career, even though Zab Judah fight, I believe,
Yeah,
should have
I
been
think
the
he
only
got knocked
knockdown
down
of
by
his career.
Zab. Yeah,
Really?
his glove touch, bro.
You said the Zab fight?
His
Yeah,
glove
yeah, yeah,
touch.
definitely. Yeah,
His
his
glove
glove touched
touch.
the
Yeah.
canvas was Zab because and Zab caught him with a right hook.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a punch that caused his glove to touch. It wasn't like he just bent down or
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
a
yeah. So
slip.
yeah, I agree with you
Yeah,
there. I
yeah.
agree with you. I thought you said you didn't think he.
No, 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 no. It was a knockdown. No, that was a knockdown.
Definitely
Yeah,
was.
it was a knockdown.
So I'm gonna
But
fast forward a little bit through this and see. We could actually good that we saw the actual defense of Floyd.
yeah,
Corrales was a warrior, man. He didn't want to. He didn't
one of
want to be.
Floyd's best defensive performances in my opinion is probably oh, there he goes. It's probably Canelo, honestly. I mean,
Oh man, that was a
he was
great
just
defensive play.
pinpoint Canelo. I mean, everything he threw. They have so
Oh
many
my
highlights.
god. Whew.
Yeah, he was whipping Diego right here.
And Diego was just swinging for the fences
He
and
ain't know what to
not
do.
landing nothing.
And
Not
one
landing.
thing too that was crazy is Floyd was calling out Casamayor a lot back then.
I would have
Casamayor wasn't
loved to see
fighting.
that fight.
I would
Casa
have too.
Mayor, Isolina Freitas at 130.
He called him out. He actually called him out after that fight. He said
Even Prince
after
Nassim. Prince
he called
Nassim.
out Nassim too. Yeah,
Yeah, I would have loved to see those.
I would have
He
loved to
did
see
call
that
out a
fight.
lot of people.
He called out a lot of people.
And it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
It
So
didn't happen.
Floyd, he was champion at 30, 35, 40, 47, and 54.
And 54. Yeah. 5
So
times.
that's probably the reason why everybody talks about the 27 knockouts in 50 fights, and that's decent. But most of those 27 knockouts happen at the lower weights, as we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Angel Manfredi, Corrales, Gennaro
Mhm.
Hernandez, and others. Those
Yeah.
guys were at the lower
Arturo
weight.
Gotti. Can't forget
Arturo
that one.
Gotti was 140.
Yeah, he
He
destroyed
did
him.
knock out Ricky Hatton at 47.
Yeah, Ricky Hatton.
But for the most part,
The Victor
most
Ortiz at 47? No? Okay.
well, the Victor Ortiz was another story. I mean, that was an example of not protecting yourself at all times. I don't know what he was thinking about with that one.
It's on his record. It's on his record.
Yeah, he lost his mind on that one. I don't know what he was thinking. Yeah, well, I guess you could call it a knockout.
I mean, they said it. He got counted out, didn't he? He got counted out. But Ortiz said that he was throwing elbows Floyd was throwing elbows the whole fight. That was the reason why he did the
Yeah, a
headbutt.
lot of the times, I think with who else said that? I'm trying to figure out who else said that. Ricky Hatton, when he fought Ricky Hatton, was saying that he threw elbows and stuff
Really?
because yeah, he would do. I mean, I guess that's part of the tricks of the trade, man. When you're a
Now,
fighter,
well, I have to go back and watch to really see if that was what's happening,
well,
because there's a
I've
difference.
seen a fight with Floyd where he's kind of like will push you off a little bit with the elbow to get some room and
Mhm.
then throw the straight right hand real quick.
Right.
But it really wasn't too bad to me. Where
Ooh,
that's a good left hook.
there you go. As I
It
say,
really
he had
wasn't
one of the
too
best check left hooks I've seen,
check
bro.
left hooks, man.
That
He
check
caught Ricky
was,
Hatton with that same left hook,
yep,
and Ricky Hatton
ran him into
head
the
hit the ring
turnbuckle.
post.
Yeah, ran him into the turnbuckle. But nah, it's a um I don't know if I would call it like elbow blows, but Floyd does frame a lot. And if you guys know anything about framing is kind of like where you keep this left arm there to kind of protect you from
It's like a
somebody
shield.
coming in.
It's like a
It's like
defensive
a shield,
mechanism.
right?
Yeah,
You don't
because
generally
he would
do it.
do this, he would
Yeah,
do
he'll do this a
that,
lot.
and throw a right hand, do this. And
Yeah.
it was
So
almost like he's using his elbow as another line of
form of
defense.
defense, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's not illegal. I mean, you can do that.
Ooh,
Rico need to go.
yeah.
Need to go have a seat.
This is about the end of that one with Chico,
And you know, one thing
and he
that
stopped it.
we always have to look at too is Floyd's cardio level, man.
Oh man,
Like he can fight
see,
the
it's more
whole
than
fight
just
at the
talent
same
with him,
pace.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
he fight the whole. That's the 10th round. He was still fighting the 10th round at the same pace he was fighting in the first round.
Right.
A lot of cats can't do that.
There's Leonard Ellaby.
Yeah, that dude
Was a distorted view of Tank Davis, but we.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah, man. So Floyd definitely a Hall of Famer to me.
Yeah. You
No
have to, like I
question
said, you got
about
to
it.
pay homage. And you know what's crazy, man, is that Floyd didn't really get like that pound for pound number one until Roy Jones got knocked out by Tarver. So
Hopkins was up there too.
Hopkins was up there too, but once Jones got knocked out by Tarver, that's kind of like when Floyd kind of came more into the conversation. Now he was
Yeah.
always a prospect; people were looking at
Yeah,
him.
he was always one of the top.
Yeah, but after Jones got knocked out, then it was like, hold on, wait, who's next that we can look at to put up on this pedestal? And Floyd just never lost from there, so that's why he stayed there. I mean, he's been reigning for the past 20 years. You know what I mean? And every boxing head knows that you got to pay your homage to Floyd for so
Absolutely.
many things, and defense being one of the primary things. But
Yes, sir.
but yeah, Floyd's a defensive wizard. I mean, the shoulder roll technique, the ability to move, the ability to split your offense, the ability to get on the inside and
Right.
fight from the outside, the knowing of how to circle, which direction to circle in, things like that.
The pull counters, the check hooks,
the pull
the
counters, the check
footwork,
hooks.
the shoulder roll, to know how to do the shoulder roll, because everybody's trying to do a variation of the shoulder roll and they can't do it. I've seen Andre Berto try it.
Yeah.
I've seen other people try it. I've seen Adrian Broner try it.
Yeah.
I've seen Oscar De La Hoya try it against the Fernando Vargas fight when he was trained by Floyd's father, Floyd Sr.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it was like, man, Oscar, you getting hit a little bit too much against Vargas.
Yeah.
And you're trying to do something that's not you. That's not you.
Key,
that's not your identity.
Right.
You can't just teach somebody, go in there and say, okay, let's just start doing shoulder rolls when that have not been your dynamic for your whole career. So you just can't turn that. I mean, you can learn it right over time, but like I said, the primary thing, guys, for properly doing a shoulder roll is where your feet are. If your feet aren't where they need to be, then you're going to get hit. Because this is a very susceptible position to be in. Absolutely.
Right. All of this is open. If you don't know what you're doing. So your shoulder needs to first off be up higher. Your chin needs to be down, protecting
chin
and tucking.
And right. Your feet, and this is what Floyd would do. He would use his arm.
The arm as well. Also another protection.
And then he would have variations of the shoulder where he would do this, and he would do this, and then he would go back to this, and then he would do all these different types of things. So it wasn't just like him just sitting here like this and trying to play defense. And sometimes you could catch punches like here. You know what I mean?
Yep. And if your base is too wide, what I mean is if your feet are too spread when setting up the shoulder roll, you're going to get hit a lot too.
All
So
the time.
you
Yep.
have to stay bladed is what I even teach my students. You have to stay bladed. Bladed means that I'm always at an angle. I'm never in front, standing in front of you like this. The only time you ever really should be square is when it's time for you to really put some work in and you about to knock somebody out. Like if you
Right.
know you got somebody hurt, then you can kind of square up and just start throwing everything as hard as you can. But when
Right.
you're like still boxing and there's still danger, you need to be at an angle at all times, moving your head, keeping that
Absolutely.
shoulder there as your protection. Even when you throw your jab, your shoulder needs to be there protecting your chin from the other side because there's a right hook coming. You
Yep.
feel what I'm saying? So it's like if I throw a jab right here straight down the line, my shoulder needs to be protecting my chin because there's a right hook coming. There could be a right hook coming right here on the outside of that. If my chin's
Yep.
not down and protected, then I
Yep.
get clipped right here, and that's a wrap. You know what I mean? It's just so much to know and do, but you know, these guys are people to watch if you want to learn those things for sure.
Definitely.
Or come
He's
or come to the gym. I'll help you out.
for sure. Honorable mention. We got guys like James Toney. We got guys like
Yes.
Bernard Hopkins. We
Yes.
got guys like Ronald Winky Wright.
Yes.
Honorable mention. Guys who are great defenders. So even Mark Too Sharp Johnson.
Yeah.
Very good defender.
Yeah.
Man, I see
Can't
the fight.
forget
He
about
was
Mark.
literally
Yeah.
he was literally standing in front of somebody and moving his head,
Yeah.
hands down, boom, can't hit me. Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh. I was like, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we got a fight tonight coming up. That's really not.
I'm excited about this one a little.
I don't know if I'm excited about it.
It's not a major fight, right? But I'm excited to see what Thurman looks like. He's been out for 931 days. And that is not an exaggeration.
And the last time we saw him, he was getting beaten by Pacquiao. So
yeah.
So what's your prediction for Thurman Barrios? What Keith Thurman are we gonna see?
Bro, I think I texted you yesterday, and I told you I haven't seen Thurman in that good a shape in a very, very long time. I don't know if I've ever seen him in that good a shape.
Right.
So per the weigh-ins, per the face-off, if Thurman is as healthy as he looks, let's say that. If he is as healthy as he looks, I think it should be a short night. But if he's not, and if he's, doing too much, or if he's, because sometimes Thurman can get undisciplined in there. He just start swinging for the fences and missing and getting caught in between. So if he's doing that kind of stuff, then we'll have to see. Because I don't think Barrios is a pushover, and I think he probably learned some things from the Tank fight.
Yeah.
I hope that Barrios, what he does tonight that he didn't do when he fought Tank, is use his attributes. He fought way too short when fighting Tank. He fought Tank's fight, and Tank ended his fight the way he wanted to end it. He was way down real nice and tight and compact with Tank when he's 5 or 6 inches taller than Tank with at least 4 inches of reach on him. Why are you fighting him why are you fighting him tight and compact?
Yeah, that's another thing that we saw with Diego Corrales. He really didn't.
Exactly.
6 foot tall,
exactly,
and 130 pounds, and didn't fight his. He didn't fight tall.
Exactly.
Like, why not fight tall? Why not use the advantages? Basically, you're just walking right in with no jab, no nothing, and you just think you're just gonna power punch a defensive master. And Floyd Mayweather, he's just gonna counter you, and his counters were lethal in that fight. So with Thurman Barrios, I think I'm really I don't really know what type of Keith Thurman we're gonna see. Yes, he looks in shape, but we don't know what's gonna happen when we get in the ring, because when he fought last tune-up fight,
Josecito Lopez.
When he fought Josecito Lopez, he looked great in the first 5 or 6 rounds, but then he was getting caught, and he almost got stopped in that fight.
He did.
Then he goes from there to a Pacquiao fight, and then I was telling people, I was like, I don't know. Based on that fight, I don't know what type of Keith Thurman we're going to see coming into that. So Keith's been running off at the mouth a lot lately.
He always does.
Let's see what he does he always does that. But let's see what he does in the ring. Let's see if he can match in the ring. Another one of those Al Heyman fighters that has been put on the shelf. That also.
Well, I don't blame Al.
There's been a well,
I don't blame Al for Keith. Keith just
he's been injured. He's been injured, and he also doesn't show. There's a question about Keith's desire, whether he wants to continue in this sport, or is he just trying to cash in on a big payday? because of the comments that he's made against with Crawford, saying he wanted $10 million for Crawford.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think,
that's you literally just priced yourself out for that.
and he knew he did. He knew
he knew it. He knew it.
He just has to stay relevant, and there wasn't really much going on in the welterweight division at that time, because you had Porter. That was right around the time when Spence was hurt, so I mean he wasn't active. But I did hear some good things about Spence from his sparring partner, saying that he's hitting hard and he's looking better and his eyes better. So I'm hoping that this Ugas fight actually happens. Because I think
really want to see the Ugas fight.
Yeah, I think that really is that's a really good gauge for us to see where the welterweight division goes from here. Because if he beats Ugas, that puts him at unified. That gives him WBC, that gives him IBF, and it gives him WBA. So it sets him in place to fight Crawford for undisputed, right? So whoever wins that, then they have to defend that undisputed, right? So then that means that these guys like the Virgil Ortizes and the Boots Ennis and these guys coming up, they can kind of
is coming.
Yeah, he is. He's here. No, I don't know. He's not coming.
He's already at the top. He's right there.
He just needs the opportunity. He just needs the opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he can hold his own. I don't see him beating the top guys yet. But he can definitely hold his own. I don't think I wouldn't put him in there yet with like a Crawford or a Spence. I would give him one more good fight. He just fought Delorme. That was a good fight. I mean, it destroyed Lipinets. That was a great fight. I mean, he was on that one. And that was when there was no crowd. So you could hear how hard his hits are. Right.
Right.
So you could hear it. So he gave him work, just beat Delorme. So I think his next fight should be a step up. I think should be, honestly, if like the loser of Ugas Spence would be like a good step up fight for him, I think. I think that's just how I'm thinking, if I was putting these matches together. But yeah, man, I think that tonight if Thurman looks good though, bro, like Thurman might be the dark horse, because you got to remember Thurman he's 2-time, or he held 2 belts at welterweight. He held 2 belts and he was reigning for a while. Injuries got the best of him, but if he comes back, he looks healthy. I think we have something, I think we have something to talk about. Depending, like I said, if he doesn't come back and he looks like how he did when he fought Josecito, then I think it's probably just good for him to just come get some more money and then retire soon. Because
I'm a little skeptical on him. I'm a little skeptical on him. I'm 50-50 with him. I don't really know what Keith Thurman is going to show up, so I'm not really.
Keith has bad habits, man, and I
got to know what his mindset is. It's all about his mindset. His bad habits.
His mind is there. I think his mind is there, but I think he has bad habits. I mean, technical bad habits, like the way he throws punches. Like the way he throws punches.
And he moves too much. He moved way too much in the Danny Garcia fight when he fought Danny. That was unnecessary movement, which really got him tired. And then he has a tendency, he's very technically sound, but he has a tendency to wing his punches.
Yeah.
And that could get him caught.
Well, that, and he also hurts himself. Elbow, if anybody knows if you know anything about boxing, or if you spent any time boxing in your life, when you're throwing punches wrong. Because I would get elbow pain when I would throw punches wrong on the bag, or when I would throw punches wrong in sparring. I would get elbow pain because I was winging them the wrong way. And when I'm winging them the wrong way, it's hitting the bag, and I don't feel that pressure until after I go home. Then I sit down, and I'm like, now I feel that elbow pain. And that's what Keith is doing. Keith, wide hooks. Everything he throws is wide.
Yeah, everything
always has his chin in the air. You know what I mean? Everything he throws is real wide, and he always has his chin in the air. So it's like,
short and compact.
Bad habits. Throwing like that for years, it hurts his hands. You got to think about how he throws, and it all makes sense as to the injuries he has. He hurt his hands because he's not turning his hands over. He's not tightening them up when he hits. It's a lot of power that he's trying to put on these punches with his whole body behind it. And then you land, and your wrist isn't tight, and you just connect, and you can mess your hand up. So
break your hand.
Yeah, break your hand. So I think that I think he'll win. I think he'll win if he comes and he fights like how he's talking. He's gonna fight. And then I think he wins pretty sound. But if he doesn't, and
he needs to win this fight, very sound.
he
He
needs to
needs to
win.
win it.
He has to.
I don't want another Josecito Lopez
Yeah, he
debacle.
has to.
You have to come in there and make a statement and show the people that you're here.
Because
You
you're
know,
bringing somebody up from 140 to fight you. Now,
exactly.
mind you, Barrios is a big. He's a big 147. So he's definitely a big 140.
Right.
He's tall, wide shoulders. He's a big guy. But you're still bringing somebody up that's used to going down in weight. So now he's at a comfortable weight. I'm sure this was a much easier camp for him, for Barrios to cut down in weight if he had to cut any at all. Because
Probably didn't.
yeah, he probably didn't have to cut anything. So this is much easier. He's going to be more. He's going to be hydrated. He should be good coming in. He didn't look too bad in the weigh in either. Just Keith looked more ripped. Keith looked like he put more time
He did.
on certain things. But I think it'd be a good fight, man. I think it'd be a good fight. I hope, like I said, I hope both fighters really come and really have put that time in so we can see a good fight. But it looks like they have. So, but I got Keith winning though.
I got him winning.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be a knockout or a decision. I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but we know Keith. He looks great. His training camp looks great, but
Look good.
none of that all matters until you get into the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to see how he looks in the ring and he could look great for the first 4 rounds, just like he did against Josecito.
He always
But
does.
then he was getting caught, getting rocked, and, and barely hanging on for life, trying to survive and all that. So we need to keep Thurman. That needs to make a statement. That needs to,
Because like I said, honestly, I think if he does, he's still in the conversation. If he makes a statement tonight, now this is first fight back, so I'm not going to say, hey, go fight Crawford your next fight. No, but I am going to say this puts him in the conversation and it deepens the welterweight division again. We have to remember who we're talking about. Now, injuries make a difference, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm still kind of up in the air about how Spence comes back. I've been hearing good things from sparring partners saying he's looking good in camp, but I still have questions, right? So the questions I have are, how is he going to respond to getting hit in that eye? How is he going to respond to, because I'm telling you, if you really pay close attention, you could even see in the Danny Garcia fight differences. There were differences. He wasn't the same Errol that fought Sean. It wasn't the same Errol that fought Sean after the accident when he fought Danny. There were slight differences in him. I was watching him real close. He was getting hit more. He wasn't absorbing the hits as much as he usually does. So I'm glad that he's taking this much time off and building himself back to what he needs to be, because I understand how this works. I've done this. This is hard. It's difficult to rebuild yourself after an injury. That's difficult to do. So I believe that he's doing it, right? I believe that he's doing it, and I think he's doing good at it. But I'm still, like I said, I still have questions. Him, Keith, those two I still have questions about. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, tonight we'll see Keith. Hopefully, whenever they sign this Ugas fight, we'll see Spence. And if both of those guys look good, man, then the welterweight division is booming again. Because these are the fights that people have been wanting, and they have been wanting forever.
Yeah, the only thing I would say this is why they have you paying what $75 to see this fight.
I know, right?
I don't understand that. That's not a pay-per-view fight. It's not a pay-per-view match.
And
your pay-per-view sales and your pay-per-view buys are not going to be. I would be surprised if this gets 100 or 200K.
Yeah, it probably won't.
I mean, if Bud versus because you got bad promotion, Bud versus when he fought Porter, that fight should have done way more than what it did, but the promotion wasn't. I don't know.
That's amazing.
And this is why Bud is saying what he's saying about Bob Arum, but he's also putting, like I said, like we talked about last week, a racist tone into it.
Yeah,
and there've been other fighters who've said the same thing, but I think he can claim we have a claim to that because it's legitimate, but he also may have a claim more so to the fact that he feels that he hasn't been promoted correctly in terms of a Lomachenko or Pacquiao when he was promoted. But there was also Timothy Bradley, who was with Top Rank, and Ray Mercer.
You mean Crawford? You're talking about
Crawford? But
yeah.
So there's that. I mean, I like my prediction is will probably be for Keith Thurman. Late round stoppage 9. KO9. KO9. Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna go a little sooner. I'm gonna say 7 or 8.
Okay.
Because I think he stopped. I think Barrios got stopped in the 8th. Was it the 8th? No, he got stopped in the 11th against Tank, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Keith must do
But
better than a light than a blown up
that's what I'm
lightweight.
saying.
Well, I wouldn't even call him a blown up lightweight, just a lightweight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if he doesn't knock him out sooner than Tank did, then we have a problem. Because you know that there was that thing going on too, where Leonard Ellaby was trying to get him and Tank to fight.
Keith and Tank.
Yeah.
That's just man. Yeah. They have such a high opinion of Tank Davis, and it's way overrated opinion of him. If he's that good, I really don't know how good Tank Davis is because he hasn't tested himself against the best. He wouldn't even fight Tevin. He wouldn't even fight Farmer.
Yeah, I think that would have been a good fight.
He wouldn't even fight Tevin Farmer.
Yeah, I think that would have been a good fight. I would have liked to
and now the fact that, like, right after he lost to Jojo Diaz, man, you could have easily unified or had another championship. But you just didn't do it. So
yeah, I don't know what their plans are, but I know Floyd is he's trying to protect his golden goose. I mean, that's what they all do. That's what Oscar did with Canelo. That's what Floyd's doing with Tank. That's what they all do.
One thing about top-ranked fighters,
top rank don't protect nobody.
They don't protect nobody. Your fourth professional fight, you may be fighting a top 15 guy.
Well, they're protecting
the fight.
Right.
And your sixth fight, you in the top 10. Yeah, we're gonna bring it.
Well, they're protecting
Ray Mercer by his 10th and 11th fight.
Yeah,
he was already fighting top guys. Tough guys. And even if they're not in the top 10, top 15. You're gonna face somebody in the top 20 that's really gonna put you through hell.
I mean, that's why.
That's how it is, man.
That's why Lomachenko has a loss, or his first loss. Like, now Salido wasn't
his first loss was a championship fight. He fought for a title in his first professional fight.
It
was Salido.
It was his second
pro fight.
But that's the thing, though. Yeah, they be putting him in there. But I mean, Lomachenko had to be on a fast track. I mean, you got 398 amateur wins.
Yeah, that is true.
And you're coming in at like 30 something. We got to get you on the fast track.
Yeah.
But Salido came in blown up. I mean, cheated the whole fight. I mean, the man was wrestling, low blows, the whole fight.
That was the worst. The
whole fight. But that
was the worst.
Top rank. Shout out to Top Rank.
Shout out to Top Rank. They doing their thing. They get you stuff. But there have been stuff with Bob Arum. There's some accusations from Floyd as well from Bob Arum and Oscar De La Hoya, where they don't favor Latinos and black fighters. So, but there's no really merit to it unless they're in the court of law. But there's merit to it as far as you can make a case for not being promoted right, but they're not going to really hear that much about the racist thing unless you have actual proof of that. You can't just have hearsay, which is very good evidence,
right?
But
when you have people like. Exactly, but when you have people like Rashida Ali, like Muhammad Ali's daughter, coming out and saying that he promoted my father very well, and and when you have stuff like that, you got Tim Bradley coming out saying that I don't believe that I was promoted by. So it's like there's hearsay, there's he she, what is this? What is it? He said, she said type stuff going on. So I think that. I like we talked about last week. I think it's a waste of time for Bud to sue from that angle. I do believe it, though. I mean, I do believe there probably was some stuff going on there, but I think it's a waste of time to sue from that angle. And like we said last week, he should have done this earlier. This is not anything brand new. This is not, oh my gosh, this just happened.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't believe that Bob Arum is corrupt. No, bro, the last 5 years of your career have been an example of Bob Arum being corrupt because you ain't fighting nobody.
Yeah, you should. And
you're wasting, and they're wasting his prime years. And I mean, even the fact that the Sean Porter fight only got 100,000 pay-per-view buys.
Yeah,
that alone is a problem.
Unacceptable.
Not when it's Terrence Crawford, number 2 on the pound for pound on everybody's pound for pound list right now. Even BoxRec. I looked at this last night. BoxRec got him number 2. Pound for pound, and BoxRec.
Who have number 1?
No, Canelo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you already know.
Sure, because they be having some weird rankings in BoxRec.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua in the pound for pound. I'm like, they don't have belts. I don't put people with no belt. We got Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and Anthony Joshua all
Right.
in the
Adam Kalnaki is number 2, right? Like,
right. I don't understand that.
right.
I don't understand that.
Robert
It's
Helenius
crazy.
is number 3.
Robert Helenius, Gerald Washington, is
Gerald Washington.
Charles Martin on your comment.
Charles Martin's
right now, man?
What is going on here?
What
They do it by like a point system. I don't really understand how they do it.
That doesn't make sense.
I think it's
you
like
can get more points as a loser than a winner can.
Right, exactly.
So that point system really makes no sense. It's really counterproductive.
Right.
It's really oxymoronic, if you really want to be honest.
It is.
So I get knocked out and I get 80 points, and this guy gets 70.
I get 80 points because I didn't get knocked out in the first round. I got knocked out in the
I got knocked out in the 7th round.
Right.
So
right,
it's 80. So 70 points.
Late round stoppage.
10 points around or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
point system, like you scorecarding yourself.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, but no, I think but back to Thurman and Barrios, I think it should be a good one. I think everybody should tune in just to support. I mean, the undercard's pretty good too. They got Abel Ramos and Leo Santa Cruz on there. They're not fighting each other. Leo's fighting Cabrera, whatever his name is. I can't remember the guy's name.
Of course, they wouldn't be fighting each other, man.
No, they're not gonna fight each other. No. Well, actually, the funny thing is Keith said that initially they were gonna have him against Abel, which, once again, I don't know why you would fight a lightweight, but still,
exactly. There's no reason for that.
Yeah, I don't know what that gets you, but he said that was the initial choice. But he said the only reason why he chose Mario is because Mario had a better record. So,
well,
yeah,
I guess.
We'll see. We'll see. It should be good. Just support boxing all together, man. You know what I mean? Hey, if a fight's on, watch the fight. You know what I mean? Pour into boxing because we don't want to let the sport get overlooked just because there's bad promotion. The sport is still awesome. It's still done. Boxing has done so much for me in my life, man. So always support and promote boxing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next thing we got, man, this is a historical thing right here.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't even learn about that until today, bro. Thank you for telling me.
Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. Man, Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, April 30th, live MSG Undisputed Championship.
My prediction.
What are the tangibles, man? Katie Taylor, 20-0, 6 KOs, 4-belt champion. Amanda Serrano, 42, 1-1, 30 KOs. 7 division champion, has not lost a fight since 2012, so almost basically 10 years.
Wow. What's your prediction, man?
That's a tough one, man.
I know.
I'll be honest with you. Katie Taylor had a tough fight with Delphine Persoon, but Delphine Persoon, her style is not the same as Amanda Serrano's. Amanda Serrano is a southpaw. She's a good boxer, and she also has good power.
Mm-hmm.
Katie Taylor is more of a boxer than a boxer puncher,
mm-hmm.
a pure boxer.
She didn't impress me her last fight.
Katie?
Yeah, she didn't impress me her last fight.
That's
maybe it wasn't. Maybe she didn't feel like. Well, because honestly, I don't think who was the girl. I don't forgot the girl's name now. What's her name? I think you just mentioned her. Who's she?
Delphine Persoon.
Yeah, she didn't impress me. Katie didn't impress me.
She lost. She won a majority decision.
Yeah,
in that one fight, and then I think they had a rematch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so I think if Kate, oh man, what's my phone ringing? I think if it's a tough one.
It is.
Amanda didn't really impress me her last fight either, to be honest.
Amanda Serrano didn't know.
No, neither one of them impressed me. She was on the Jake Paul undercard, right?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, and
the guy and the person she fought, you know, I feel like it was tough, but I don't know, it wasn't. And then Amanda Serrano,
hold on, bro. This might be important. I'm getting called twice. Hang on one second.
All right. So to the audience, I'm gonna talk about Amanda Serrano. She's a boxer. She's also an MMA. Mixed martial artist, and she's a unified featherweight champion. She's had the WBO title since 2019. She's had the WBC title since February 21, the IBO title since March 2021. And she's the only female and Puerto Rican to win world titles in more than 4 weight classes, and holds the Guinness World Record for the most boxing championships won in different weight classes by a female.
Katie Taylor?
No, Amanda Serrano.
Oh yeah.
Having 9 major world titles across
Yeah.
7 titles, so 7 weight classes.
Yeah.
I believe that Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano is shattering glass ceilings for women's boxing.
Oh, absolutely.
The promotional companies involved in this. Shout out to Eddie Hearn. Shout out to the promotional companies. Shout out to Triller Boxing, who's actually helping with this as well. But
gotta give credit where credit is due, man.
Yeah.
Got to.
Yep.
Even though they messed up every other fight they put on.
Every single other fight. It was trash. Absolutely garbage.
Yeah, absolute garbage. Like, I mean, under the bridge garbage. I mean, like, just terrible.
Yeah.
But no, I think, man, based on performances that I've seen from both of them in the last performance, and we can only judge by the last fight a lot of the time.
Yep,
right?
That's it.
If somebody was, if I had to put the house on it, and
that's a lot, man.
That's
a lot, man.
I know. I'm gonna probably go with Amanda, just because I've noticed her being more active recently, and she didn't look bad. But like the last fight she was in, she didn't look bad, but she didn't look good. She didn't look how I would expect her to look. I also think the competition that she faced was a little bit more intense than what Katie faced, and in the fight before that, because she's fought on the last 2 Jake Paul fight cards. The fight before that, she didn't look too bad at all. So I think Amanda being more active, she looks in shape. You know what I mean? She looks like she stays in the gym. So I think that's who I would go with in this one. It's a tough call though, man, because Katie is a different animal. Like I said, I just think that the last fight did not impress me at all. But it wasn't just a fact of her getting beat up. It was a fact of like her fundamentals didn't look like they were there. Maybe she had an off camp. I don't know. But when I see that kind of stuff, it lets me think like, wait, you still need to always have something to go back to, even if you're caught off guard. Like she was like leaving her face out there and getting hit in stupid spots, like not bringing her hands back to her face. She looked tired. So I'm thinking maybe she had a bad camp. So I can't judge everything off of that. But it just didn't. I wasn't impressed. So, but I believe that both of them will put in time to fight each other. So I believe April 30th will be that they'll be at their peak.
This fight is probably long overdue. To be honest,
this is the biggest fight.
There was always negotiations, problems, and they always try to put the pressure on Amanda Serrano.
Yeah,
saying that she may not want to fight or whatever the case may be, but
this is the biggest fight in women's.
It's the biggest fight, one of the biggest fights in women's boxing history, in my opinion. It's going to be a groundbreaking fight when you have 2 fighters at the top of their games fighting each other.
Yeah,
and Amanda Serrano, that's a homecoming. She's from Bronx. She's from the Bronx. She's a Puerto Rican fighter, so she's going to have a little bit like Cotto and Trinidad type support.
Oh yeah,
from the New York Puerto Ricans. Yeah, so it's going to be a good fight. It's basically like she's fighting in her backyard.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes though, so man, sometimes that's harder. I mean, we've seen in recent times where fighters have lost at home.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of fighters lose at home. Seen Corey Spinks get knocked out by Zab Judah at home. Mm-hmm. We've seen Michael Nunn get knocked out by James Toney in a fight he was dominating. He was at home. Being at home is like an added pressure.
Teofimo just got beat.
Teofimo just got beat.
Jared Hurd got beaten in Fairfax, which is still close to home for him.
By Julian Williams.
Yep. Shout out to those guys, man. But yeah, it's sometimes it's harder fighting at home. You know what I mean? The pressures of your family being there, the pressure of wanting to put on a good performance. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll see how it plays out. I don't know if I can make a prediction right now. I'm gonna wait on the prediction. Man, it's tough because, like I said, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, they're both great fighters,
And it really doesn't matter about their last performances. It does, but we can't really base it off of that because that
You
would be
can't
a
judge
track.
everything off of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, because they will be fighting way better against each other than they
That's what
will
I'm
against
saying.
other
Yeah,
opponents. So
yeah.
you know, a lot of times we have fighters that do not live up to the expectations when they
Hmm.
fight other fighters. They are they fight down to the level of their opposition. So that's could
Hmm.
be why they don't have the fights that they need to have. But
Right.
I don't know if I had to pick. I mean, phew, that's tough. That's really tough.
It
Um,
is. It is.
Katie Taylor has a lot of dimensions, but Amanda Serrano is more of a puncher than Katie Taylor
Mhm.
is. So it might be difficult. It might be
Yeah.
difficult.
It's a tough one
So
to make. It's a 50-50
yeah,
fight
I
for
don't really
sure.
want to make a prediction yet,
Yeah, I
but
know, right?
but closer to the fight, I'll have a prediction for you.
Nah, okay. Like I said, I'm throwing it out there right now, just like if I had to, right? But
Right.
we'll see. We'll see as it gets closer. But that's for all fights, right? We'll see as they get closer.
Yeah.
How these people are looking in camp. Like I'm gonna
Yeah. I want to see more about what's going on in camp to make an accurate description of
right,
what's gonna happen.
right.
Because once I know what's going on in camp, then I can have a accurate and sincere judgment on it. So
Hmm.
we made something about this and the Katie Taylor Serrano fight. We also did the Keith Thurman Barrios fight. What other
Hmm.
fights are you looking for this year?
Um, what's on the
Like,
horizon right now? I think Ryan Garcia is coming back. He's fighting some no name. That I can't remember the guy's name, but he's supposed to fight in April. I think they're still trying to. I know there's a whole bunch of issues going on with
Ugas,
that.
Ugas
This-
versus Spence is
Well, yeah,
is coming.
Ugas versus Spence. That's like probably the closest one. Um, we got Devin Haney supposed. They were trying to get the Cambosis Devin Haney thing
Yeah,
going. Hopefully
yeah.
that
I want to
happens.
see that. I want to see that.
Yeah. Dylan White, Tyson Fury. Hopefully that happens.
Well, it
Um,
seems like it may be happening because of the fact. Oh, we also have Daniel Jacobs versus John
oh
Ryder.
yeah, John Ryder, that one. Not too excited about that one.
Neither.
Canelo against Charlo, that's a big one if that actually happens.
Yeah,
They're acting
Carlos
like it might.
Quadras versus Jesse Franco. That's
Yeah,
decent.
yeah.
Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams.
Don't they fight? They fight like today, don't they? Or
Mm-hmm.
don't they fight
Coming
today?
up. Yeah, you're right.
They probably
Also,
are.
speaking of women's boxing, shout out to Clarissa Shields. She's fighting Emma Kozine.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a good one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So she's also a pioneer in boxing, doing great
Hmm.
things in pound for pound, and she's beat some great fighters.
Yeah, she's trying to do
Jessica
the American.
McCaskill, another one of my favorite women's boxers. She's
Yeah.
also a great fighter. She's beat Cecilia Brækhus.
Mm-hmm.
Cecilia
Mm-hmm.
Brækhus has never been defeated. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, next week it's Daniel Jacobs, I believe, and Ryder. That's next week.
That's next week. Okay.
Next week. What else we got here? Amir Khan and Kell Brook.
Oh
It's coming
yeah.
up real
That's big. When is
soon.
that?
The 19th. The
When is it?
19th.
The 19th
Prediction. What you got?
or of the 19th of what this month?
The 19th of this month.
Oh
It's
snap! Okay,
February.
that's a good
Yeah.
one.
Amir Khan,
It
Kell
depends
Brook.
on who. It depends on which Khan and which Kel show up.
That's the
But
thing, man.
you already know if you touch Khan's chin, it's pretty pretty
Pretty
much
much a
over.
wrap. Pretty
If
much a
you
wrap.
touch his chin, if you look at his chin wrong, there's a good chance. There's a good
You
chance.
blow air on his chin.
There's a good chance he's getting knocked out. But if you blow, if you walk past his chin too fast, there's a good
Yeah.
chance he's getting knocked out. But
It's a big chance.
yeah, it's a big chance. But I think that's a good fight, man. I think that's a fight we wanted to see for years. I think it's too little, too late, to be honest. They've both been in some wars. Well, not Khan, he's just been knocked out. But Brooke has been in some wars.
Yeah,
But
where his
being knocked
eyesight
out though,
comes
still
from.
being knocked out as many times, and by who he's been knocked out by all those times, that still takes a toll on your career. So I see if just because I've seen Kell go the distance more recently, well, outside of the Crawford loss, but I've seen him go the distance more recently, and I don't really think that Khan has the power to hurt him. I think he has a speed to disrupt anybody, but I don't really think he has the power to hurt Kell. I think Kell should win, but I'm not going to put a stamp on that.
Does Khan
because
being in Crawford's training camp, being training
yeah,
with him,
because Khan training with
does that
Crawford,
make
that's
a
a big.
difference?
I
Yeah,
think that
does
makes a
that make
huge
a difference?
difference. I think because I mean Crawford knocked him out in 4 rounds, so I think that makes a huge difference.
That's the same
Um,
guy that knocked out Kell Brook as well.
that's what I'm
So
saying. Knocked him out in 4 rounds. So I think it should be a. You know what? That's actually that's an X factor I didn't think about until you brought that up, and I sent
could
that to
be,
you. I
could
didn't think
be.
about that. Who he's been training with? Hmm. I don't know, man. I don't want to say. I
I still go for. I think that Kell Brook wins the fight.
think you should.
Uh,
I think you
he
should. But
should win the fight, but you never know. You
yeah.
never know what Khan you're gonna see. So you don't know what's gonna happen. So any
Mhm.
other fights you want to see this year? I want to see. Well, I had wanted to see Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. Probably
Mhm.
not going to happen. It all depends on what
I'd rather
Joshua
see him fight
shows up.
Usyk. I'd rather see him
Really,
fight Usyk because I think
I
that
think
fight is. Yeah, I think
yeah,
Usyk
it's a
and
good fight. I think it's a good fight between two technically sound boxers. But I want to see what AJ does against Usyk. What adjustments he makes. Um, he made a statement the other day. I can win the fight. I'm going to win this fight with Usyk with no trainer. I was like, yeah, you a little bit. Now
he
you
said
want to
what?
talk all this, have all this passion and all this stuff that you're talking. I don't
Wait,
think
he
you
said what?
you
I
want.
didn't. What did he
He said he
say?
can win the fight with no trainer.
Oh, all right. All right.
Yeah, right. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's bugging. So I don't
You
know
didn't know
what
what
he's
to
hoping to
do.
accomplish with that. If he's being overconfident going into that fight, but I don't think he should. I think he should get a
Yeah.
trainer.
Yeah. After pride, a man falls. But yeah, just like, and we've seen you fall at least 3 times in 1 round. So let's not be too. It's like
Let's
let's
not be
not
too
get.
hasty.
Yeah, let's not be
Mm,
too hasty or too cocky about this.
yeah, not at all.
Um, he's already beat you once. No, I would I want to see Usyk and Fury more than I want to see Joshua and Fury. Um, I think Joshua and Fury has a good storyline behind it, but I think Usyk and Fury makes more sense. Because really, man, I really just want to see Fury just actually be what he could have been back when he beat Klitschko. He was already that, like he was
He
undisputed
was
at that
getting
point.
there. He was right at the cusp. He
Yeah,
was
he was
getting ready to
undisputed. I
fight
just want to see
Klitschko a
him.
second time, and the mental health again. I want to say is a very important factor in life. So I don't
Yeah,
want to say anything bad about that. So mental health is absolutely essential. Good
yeah. I
mental
just want to see him do better.
health.
Um,
He came back. After those what he was going through, came back, fought Wilder, beat him. Okay, let's get rid of Wilder. The Wilder thing is over with. Now
mhm,
let's see you fight some other guys, the top in your era, the best in your
mhm,
era.
mhm.
Can you beat the best in your era? That's
Yeah,
why I say I want him to beat Joshua. I mean, I want him to fight Joshua. I want him to fight Dillian White. I want him to
mhm,
fight all the top guys in his era right now so he can
mhm.
say that he could be the best.
Yeah, because I
If he
mean he
beats those
has.
guys, then he's the best.
He's a
You
traveler
know?
too. I mean, he went to Germany and did it. Came to the U.S. and did it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would be now he can go back to Britain and do it. Shoot, man, go fight Usyk in Kazakhstan. You know what I mean? Like just be a traveler. You know what I mean? But I think
And he's also traveled to America.
that's what I said. Yeah, he's
Yeah, traveled
fought in
to
the
America
U.S.
and fought the best.
Yeah,
So yeah, so
yeah.
yeah, we'll see. Do you think anybody beats Tyson Fury at this point? Nobody.
In heavyweight, no, 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 not
It's
yet.
gonna be tough. It's
No,
gonna be
not yet.
tough. I would have to consider him the favorite against all the heavyweights out there, but that
Yeah,
remains to be seen. He has to fight those guys.
yeah,
Um,
not yet.
Fight
I think
Dillian White. Fight those guys and beat those guys, and then you can make your claim, and there'll be no dispute whatsoever who's the best. So
yeah. I think his toughest test is I think Deontay was probably the toughest person he would have fought as far as there actually being danger of him being hurt, right?
yeah, that's about
Um,
it.
now Joshua, now don't get it twisted. Joshua can hurt you, but Joshua doesn't have the tenacity that
That's the problem.
he doesn't have the tenacity that Wilder has. So I think that I think that Fury has faced the toughest opponent he's going to face at heavyweight. Now Dillian White is another one that can hurt you, but Dillian White is you can hurt him too. Like Wilder
Very much
probably
so.
had the best chin out of that bunch. Joshua's chin is very shaky. Dillian White has been knocked out numerous times.
Numerous.
Usyk is really the only one that we've never seen knocked out or hurt like that. So I think Usyk is probably going to be the biggest test post Wilder for Fury, in my opinion. I think Usyk will be the biggest test. I think Joshua will be a test, but I don't think that it will be something that he won't overcome pretty easily at the at the right point in time, because like I said, I think they've sparred before, and I mean he gave Joshua work. Now there was also speculation that during the third Wilder fight, that he was in camp with Jared Anderson, and they were saying Jared Anderson was
Big
giving
Baby
him,
Anderson?
yeah, Big Baby. He
The
was
real
giving him
Big
work in
Baby.
camp. Yeah, they're right, the real Big Baby. Please stand up. He was giving him he was giving him work in camp. So I did hear
Jared
about
was,
that.
or was Tyson Fury?
No, Jared was giving Tyson work in camp.
Mm,
Yeah. So, but I don't even know if he's going to stay around long enough to fight those guys, because I mean
it's
they're
not
like
gonna
a tier
happen.
down.
It's not
Yeah,
gonna happen.
I think he fights the guys that matter right now, and I think he can probably get out after Usyk. Because I mean, he said he only wants to have 3 more fights, so it would be Dillian, AJ, and Usyk. Once
Yep,
he
that'd
fights
be it.
those 3 guys,
That'd be
I
it.
think he's proved enough.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, there's really nobody else after that to fight. Those are the cream of the crop of the heavyweight division, in my
And then
opinion.
he can
So
just vacate the belts and have
Jared
AJ
Big
or
Baby Anderson is Jared Big Baby Anderson is a very good up and coming guy.
yeah, he
I
is.
think so.
He is.
So final questions. Hey, what else would you like to see? What's your prospect that you're looking at? Prospects.
Prospects Boots. Boots is hands
Boots.
down.
But you
Hands
know what?
down.
He's man.
Hands
He's
down.
he's 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 going out of the prospect realm into the contender realm, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, he is,
So
but I mean,
he's up there in the rankings in WBC and IBF. So
mm-hmm.
he's right there. I think he's one of the mandatories in WBC, one of them. Or
He's
is it?
mandatory for. He's not mandatory for Arrow. Not in
I think
WBC.
he's up there in WBC, number 2, something like that, or
Is he?
WBO too.
Is he?
So, yeah, he's one of the top and all around. So
Okay. I didn't know he was mandatory already.
he hasn't fought a mandatory like a eliminator yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know
So
he
that's
was.
what he would need to do in order to get to that point. But yeah,
Yeah,
he's up there.
yeah, yeah. I think that's probably. I mean, as far he in my eyes, he's still a prospect because he hasn't had an eliminator yet. But so yeah, Boots is the primary person I'm watching right now.
Sure.
That could bring that could shake up a division, right? Um,
Yeah. So he's
uh,
he's currently ranked IBF number 3, WBO and WBA number 5, and WBC number 8. So he's right there, up
mhm,
there. And you know how the IBF is when they come down to
mhm.
their eliminators, they're not gonna play.
Nah,
They're
nah.
not gonna play with that. So
You're actually going to fight.
you will fight, or you're
You're,
gonna get
you're,
stripped, or you're gonna get stripped.
yeah, you're actually going to fight.
That's just all there is to it.
Yeah,
So
WBC is the most corrupt.
yeah, of course, you know that with the franchise crap, we've talked about that. That I don't
yeah,
particularly agree with that. And then the WBA is also the second most crooked, in my opinion, with all those baby belts.
yeah.
These baby belts are really corrupting boxing, and they're making people think like they're really champions that they're not.
They're
Like
not,
John Pascal was a WBC, WBA baby belt champion at one at
interim WBC interim or
interim.
WBC silver. No, silver. What is it?
Silver. You got
Silver
the
belt.
silver. You got the franchise. You got the.
Like they've
you
created
got
their own
WBA. You
Olympic
got
system.
super. You got regular. You got.
Too many
I
belts.
mean, come on.
Too many belts. Too many belts.
Too many belts in one organization.
They've created their own Olympic ranking system. Like it's ridiculous.
That's stupid.
But yeah, now Boots, man, that's who I'm watching as far as prospects in my head. We mentioned Big Baby already and heavyweight.
Yeah, I would have
that's
to
who
say
I'm watching.
Big Baby. I would have to say Big Baby and Boots.
Yeah, Big Baby and Boots. Let me see. In the smaller divisions, 135, who's up and coming? I don't know, man. Up and coming at 135, who you got?
135. That's tough.
I mean, they already got the the
prospects at 35. I mean, they're already pretty much established at 35.
That's what I'm
So
saying. They already got the people there that we
they
want to
really
see
got their
fight.
people. They don't really have too many. I mean, I'm sure there are, but they don't have too many people. I think that's going to be at the cream of the crop right now or anytime soon. But you never know. There could be.
At featherweight, we got passing on the guards, which with Maxayo winning and beating
Mm-hmm.
Russell.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple of good fights there. 130. I mean, well, I wouldn't even really call him a prospect at this point. Well, I guess he is because he doesn't have a belt. But Shakur, I mean, 130.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a
But that's
prospect.
what I'm
I
saying. You
would
can't really
call
call him a
him
prospect.
a future star,
Yeah,
in
he's
my
he's coming
opinion,
up.
because he just beat Jared Ennis. I mean,
Yeah,
Jared. Yeah,
Gerard.
J-
What's his name?
Jamel Herring. Sorry,
Jamel
I
Herring.
said
Yeah,
Jared Ennis. He just beat
yeah.
Jamel Herring pretty badly, pretty
Pretty.
convincingly.
Yeah. But he's talking about coming up to 135 too, which I think would be a good shakeup
That's
for
a
that
good weight.
division.
That's a good thing for him.
That is, that's a good shakeup. I think he's still working on getting his quote unquote man strength. So he comes up to
Oh
135.
man.
He's gonna have to utilize that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, what do you think about this crazy Bridger weight?
uh, what is it like from 205 to
Like 205 to 224 is the highest weight.
bro? Honestly, I think it makes sense because you got to look at just a little bit though, because you got to look at like Big Baby. Big Baby was coming in at like 315. AJ was like 250, if that. So I mean, I think like it's a good thing to kind of put a little bit of separation in the heavyweight division because as soon as you hit 200, bro, you're in heavyweight. So
Yeah,
that means I can fight a 350 guy
yeah.
being
I mean,
200.
it's still that way. You
That's what
know?
I'm saying. But if you have Bridgerweight, then you have a little bit of a separation.
Yeah, you do.
So I see
You
where
do.
it could help. I see where it could help, but I don't know.
Yeah, but like I
I don't
said,
know.
with 35, you got the Lomachenkos, the George Camboses, Devin
Yeah,
Haney's, the
yeah.
Javante Davises, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
the Jorge Linares, the Teofimo. After that, what? Jezreel Corrales, Ricky Burns. They've already been at that point
Yeah,
before.
yeah. I think
Luciani Nakatani.
yeah,
You know what I
Nakatani got
mean?
knocked it outed is what he did by
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
man, Loma worked that dude. But
Bad.
yeah, I don't think there is any real prospects there. Um, you got at 130, you still got what's his name?
Miguel Burchelt,
Yeah,
Oscar
well, Berchelt got
Valdez.
Oscar Valdez. So I was thinking about him and Shakur. That's a great fight. That needs to
Yeah,
happen.
Oscar Valdez versus Shakur. I would love to see that fight.
That needs to happen. I think
That
Shakur
needs to
gives him
happen.
work though, but
I
that
think
fight
so.
needs to happen.
I think
Uh,
so.
I don't I don't really think Berchelt should really be in that conversation anymore at this point. Not the way he lost, right? Like you can lose, but the
Yeah,
way he
you right.
lost, like
Yeah.
dog, you looked like somebody on World Star Hip Hop when you came out with those punches with your chin all in the air. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't never had a real fight in your life.
Yeah, I don't
So
know what happened
yeah,
to Burchell. He
I
was
don't know.
up and then he was
I mean, you
man.
always have a bad night, right? But
That was
I
a
don't
horrible
think
night.
if
That
he
was
fights like that against like a Shakur or somebody
that
else in
was
a
a
higher,
horrible night, man.
yeah, he gets destroyed. So
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I think that actually is a fight I didn't think about. That fight I want to see Valdez and Shakur
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, man,
Yep.
prospects, primary people I'm watching right now, man, are Boots, and even what's his name, other guy, was it Oscar Valdez,
Mm-hmm.
um, at 140. I'm sorry, 147.
147.
Yeah,
Jared Ennis.
yeah,
Jaron Ennis.
Boots is.
Boots
I think
is
Boots is a
Boots
problem.
is the number one out of my in my opinion.
Yeah,
Out of the
yeah,
prospects that I want to see.
yeah.
For female boxing, I would have to say Melissa Odessa.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good prospect.
Yeah,
I know she's doing a back and forth with the MMA stuff, but she's a good prospect for
yeah.
boxing. I've seen her fight a couple of times. She has all the technical skills to
Mm-hmm.
do what she needs to do. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one lady that I'm watching for.
Yeah.
So that being said, man, we come to the end of our broadcast. It's another fun one. I just want to put up the Instagram once again for y'all, and I also want to put up my boys
Yep.
Facebook.
Follow us on
Support
Facebook.
your local businesses. Follow, subscribe, add, share.
Yeah, man. You can also find me on Facebook just at Rob Bryce Jr. if you have questions or want to tag up talk boxing or even come work out with us. We're right here in Stafford. We're a growing gym. We're getting a lot of good people coming through, man, and got a couple of cats we're trying to get set up for fights, and then the other people that just want to work out, man. So it's a really good environment. Lovely environment, man. People are just coming in, learning, taking it, and going home with it, and bringing it back, and we're just executing stuff. So, even if you don't want to compete, we're cool with that. But I think the boxing is something that everybody should learn.
Absolutely.
Boxing is something that everybody should learn. I look at it as car insurance. I hope you never have to use your car insurance, but if you do, it's good to know that you have it. It's the same way with boxing. Hopefully you never have to use your boxing skills in the street or anything else. But if you know how to do it, it'll probably benefit you if somebody
Big
decide
time.
they want to if somebody decide they want to get froggy and leap on you. Right.
Yeah,
It's a good place for kids too and adults the same. We really focus on the mindset and it's a Christian based thing, man. So I am a believer. Danny and I both are believers, man. So it's always all about God at the end of the day. So come out, get your training, and then get your prayer at the end, man. Just come out and get encouraged, and know that you have you got something you can hope in that's bigger and greater than you. So
facts.
discipline breeds discipline, baby.
Shout out to MOW Boxing. Shout out to Coach Rob for coming out and doing this. Man, this is tune in every Saturday,
We'll be here.
12:30 p.m. Eastern time. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all actually, if you can, like put in the comments there, like things you want us to talk about, man. We love
Yeah,
boxing.
if there's anything that you want us to talk about, definitely put it in the comments. And also, when we come in, you're also welcome to have a panel discussion where we can come out and discuss boxing or whatever you
Hmm.
guys want to talk about. So definitely,
Yeah, we
definitely.
boxing like I tell everybody, man. For me, it's God, family, boxing. That's the order.
Yeah.
So boxing is in the top three of things that I'm around and that I do and that I love to do. So we spar, man. We train, we do it all. And boxing is a great sport, a great thing to get your kids into, a great thing to just build confidence, man. And I have a sincere passion for it. So as does Danny. That's why we mesh, because we both have a sincere passion for the sport. We love it, and we love to help people. So anything
That's
y'all
why
want
we're
us to
here.
talk about next time, man, let us know.
Yeah, definitely let us know. Again, once again, shout out to Rob. Shout out to MOW Boxing, man.
Shout out to Danny's
Subscribe to
Dimension.
that YouTube channel. Subscribe to my Facebook channel. And subscribe to my
You got all
Instagram
these channels,
channel.
Danny.
All these channels, man.
Danny, that
Subscribe to
Danny,
all of them. Support your local business.
and share
All right.
share this whole hour and 37-minute session that we just shared an
Definitely.
hour and 37 minutes of our life with y'all. So,
That's a big part, right?
we will never get this time back, right? So
Never.
share this, man. Post it all over the place.
Definitely.
Um, we're trying to help each other, man, the best we can, and we're trying to help people. It's all about people, man. It's all about showing love, showing the love of God, man, and just talking boxing.
Talking
You never go
boxing,
wrong
man.
talking boxing. We're trying to do something good. Trying to do something
Yeah,
good for the
it's a
community.
big movement that we're doing right here, and I'm excited for what we got going on in the future. So until next time, there's another episode of Danny's Dimensions Saturdays with Coach Rob. I'm out of
Y'all be
here. Peace.
peace and love. Y'all be blessed.